Hi there, it's 11:30. Good morning. Welcome to Newsroom. My name is Emmanuel Agyabeng. Time now to bring in with the headlines. NPP and other parties stage protests to demand reinstatement of suspended Chief Justice.
I'm humbly calling on all judges, all judicial service staff to think deep about tomorrow.
Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly to begin decongestion exercise today, clearing all traders on pavements.
Leave this space, and you don't leave this space, and I get there, I am not lucky, and my boys are with me there, and then we'll beat you.
Former NPA boss and leading member of opposition MPP Mustapha Hamid criticizes NDC government as confused and indecisive, claiming the MPP is a better governing party than the NDC. Ghana's Cedi appreciates against major trading currencies in the last 2 weeks. What is accounting for this development and how sustainable is the efforts in making this happen? We will find out shortly in business. And on the international front, Israel Security Cabinet approves plan to expand Gaza offensive. We have more lineup in the 60 minutes broadcast. To stay with us here on Newsroom. Many thanks for joining this broadcast once again. We begin with the MPP and allied parties protest happening, and this coalition led by the MPP to stage in a public protest in Accra to demand the immediate reinstatement of suspended Chief Justice GHOne by the President, John Dramani Mahama. Demonstrators began assembling early Monday morning at a car park opposite to the Supreme Court, with the demonstrators clad in black and red wielding placards to drum home their demands. Several allied political parties, including the Liberal Party of Ghana (LPG), National Democratic Party (NDP), People's National Party (PNP), and the Ghana Union Movement (GHOne) have all joined the MPP in this demonstration. According to the protesters, the suspension and attempts to remove the Chief Justice threaten the foundations of Ghana's democratic system. We will take you live to the demonstration grounds where my colleague Obed Galglum is joining us. He's been there all morning monitoring proceedings, and we're going to engage him now to bring us up to speed on what is happening and where they are currently at. Obed, if you can hear me, we do know that a protest began from the Supreme Court complex. Where are you now and what can you report?
Thank you very much. I can hear you as we speak. And we are currently on the Ring Road heading towards the Flagstaff House. I must say, there's a lot of crowd here. As you can see, walking through the street to register their displeasure against the suspension of the Chief Justice. I'm working with some of the communications team members of the MPP who have been talking to me about the displeasure. Let me still go ahead and engage them and find out from them. Let me come back to you. In some time past, we saw the Electoral Commission also ousted by the then government. People say that it is hypocritical of the MPP to be complaining at this time. How will you react to this?
Certainly, we are calling for due process. And once there is due process of the law, nobody complained when Dr. Korijan was the Electoral Commission. Nobody complained when Madam Charlotte Osei was appointed the chairperson of the Electoral Commission as a result of some administrative infractions. This is nothing but an attempt for a political party to usurp the powers of the judiciary. This is clearly an attempt of the NDC to be able to see through the day the campaign promises. Sami Janvi, the National Communications Director Officer of the National Democratic Congress, told us that the heads of the various constitutional bodies, they should remember that their term of office is coterminous with the term of President Kufuor, and certainly they are trying to execute. From there, they are inching in to other. They are trying to execute. From there, they are inching in other constitutional creations and body leaders of constitutional creations. And this is what we must say enough for the people of this country to stay put. That the President of the Republic has given a specific mandate, and that mandate cannot be used as a form of dictatorship to be able to truncate.
You can see, Emmanuel, some of the protesters bearing the placards, "Restore the Chief Justice now." And if you can to the far end, you see that the street is full right here, heading towards the Flagstaff House. They've been walking since morning from the precinct of the Supreme Court, and then they headed to the Parliament House, where they presented petitions both at the Supreme Court and also at the Parliament House. Let me go ahead and engage more people who are here. I've just cited a communications team member of the MPP. Let me engage you too. We know you speak for the MPP, but from an objective mind, people say that it is the prerogative of the president to appoint judges, but we are told that the MPP is not happy with the appointment of the 7 judges recently. Why so?
Well, we are not happy with the appointment of the 7 judges. Not necessarily we are not happy, but what they said when they were in opposition before coming to power is what we are scared about. You see, in principle, as I've argued on TV, there's no mechanism within our constitution. So many cases get to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court justices, they are being overworked. We agree with that. Well, I agree with that. It was for this reason that last year the president proposed, they said court was an issue.
We need the judiciary to be fiercely independent.
Well, you just heard the minority leader of Sahin, Alexander Fenyomark, and as well with some other leading members of the party, Dr. Yawedi Chum. You also saw Bernardo Kuboy and as well Stephen Nauma, who were all ministers under the MPP-led government. We'll bring you more on this particular development and this protest, but let's head to the courts now, where the Accra High Court, presided over by Justice John Bosco Naberese, has issued a bench warrant for Deborah Sarah Madabula's immediate arrest. Adabla, the plaintiff in the case involving banker Ernest Kwesine Mako, is ordered to appear and show cause why she shouldn't be held in contempt. The court's decision follows the playing of 2 videos in open court, which appeared to show Adabla making disparaging remarks about the judge's handling of the case. The court has since adjourned the case to May 15 for an application for summary judgment to be delivered on the matter. While Ernest Kwesine Mako, the banker who is the defendant, was present in court, Adabla, who is the plaintiff, was, however, absent from the proceedings that happened in court. My colleague Mutala Inusa, who is our legal affairs correspondent here at the EIB Network, joins me now to have a conversation on this. Mutala, thanks for joining us. Mutala, the 2 videos that were played in court, if you can help us with some understanding of what exactly Deborah said that is leading to this particular bench arrest warrant.
Well, Emmanuel, if you look at the videos that were played in open court, one of them is a little over 2 minutes, and the other is a little close to 2 minutes. In fact, it was the judge in the matter which I need to retrieve the vehicle in the center of this whole controversy. The court said the vehicle should be impounded, the vehicle should be surrendered to the court until such time that the whole matter is dealt with. And remember that the substantive matter itself had been struck out because the court is saying that an issue like this, the judiciary cannot be called upon to stand its authority on that because society falls upon that. But of course, the other legs of the issue that is still pending before the IE, the issue about the true ownership of the car, and also the contempt application that is pending. And of course, lawyers of Nibiseni also have some application to be dealt with. Latest information was to the effect that they asked videos of her on social media platform scandalizing the court and by way of the integrity of the judge to question.
Now, Mutala, for Deborah, I do know that the court will sit again on May 15, but for her arrest warrant, how long does she have to appear before the police, before they take action?
So, as you can see, per the content of the order from the court was that the bench warrant takes immediate effect. So, wherever the police sees Deborah Sarah Madabla, they have to arrest her and produce her before the court. So, as and when she's arrested, that matter will come before the court. So, the next date that the court is fixing is for the parties to appear on May 15. But what is clear on the face of the order that has been given by the court is that it takes immediate effect.
Mutala, thank you so much for bringing us up to speed on happenings on the court. Mutala Yunusa is our legal affairs correspondent here at the EIB Network. What we do understand is that Deborah Adabla's arrest is, the bench warrant for arrest is quite immediate. So whenever the police sides her, whenever, they will make that arrest happen. Away from that, to matters happening at the official seat of government, the presidency, and the first gentleman of the land, the President John Dramani Mahama, will today launch the Code of Conduct for government appointees as part of efforts to promote transparency and accountability in the public office. Minister in charge of government communication, Felix Kwachiofusu, made the announcement in a social media post describing this week as a pivotal moment for the government's reform agenda. The new Code of Conduct to be launched by President John Dramani Mahama is expected to lay down clear ethical guidelines and operational standards for ministers and all other government appointees in line with the NDC's 120-day social contract commitment. Now, even though the 1992 Constitution makes provision for a code of conduct for public officers, President Mahama made the firm promise as part of his social contract to introduce a formal and enforceable code to ensure responsible and accountable governance. Today's launch is expected to set the tone for how President John Dramani Mahama intends to govern by upholding discipline, enforcing standards, and delivering on a promise to restore integrity in public service. We have been joined by governance expert Professor Bafo Agyabeng on this particular matter. Prof, good morning and thanks for joining us. When it comes to public office, we believe that as a nation, everything that dictates how we perform in light of what is right and what is supposed to be done has to be done in accordance with our 1992 Constitution. Do we need a duplicity of a code of conduct to ensure that public officials elected into office, knowing what they are supposed to do, need to be whipped back in line?
Well, thanks for having me. Look, it's true that the Constitution has for a code of conduct for public officials. But as you know, for 31, 32 years now, we haven't seen any real enforcement of that. So I believe President Mahama wants to re-emphasize the need for a code by introducing his own, perhaps including the one we already know, but to add certain things that the Constitution may not have covered. So for me, it shows a new determination to bring some sense of discipline and integrity in governance. So what is going to announce today, as you also know, was promised during the campaign, part of the 120-day contract that he said he has with the people. So that also meets that particular requirement. But I should say that there's a big difference between enacting or introducing a code of conduct on one hand and making sure your appointees abide by the code and having sanctions in place to sanction those who flout it. That, for me, will be the real challenge. So let's wait and see what he brings on board in terms of the code, and then we can see how it is effective.
Speaking of what we are expecting him to bring on board, the same president did give a directive for his appointees to declare the assets before March 31. There's a publication that indicates that many did not do so. So right on the enforcing, I would want to ask, you gave an initial order. It's not been followed. It's not been adhered to. So perhaps focus on getting your appointees back in line before you talk to us about the code of conduct.
You are very right on that. And I think, as we all know, GHOne has raised an issue about that. You see, that's why in my own initial comments, I also made the point about the difference between introducing a code and making sure it is respected, it's abided by your appointees. Okay? So like making laws in Ghana. It's not new. We have all the laws that will make us have a government of integrity. We have them in the books. But we are very weak as a people, as governments, ensuring that people comply with the law. So in the same way as you refer to, the president himself announced that my appointees, by 31st of March or so, you should have these asset declaration done. And even threatened that if you didn't do it, I'm afraid you might even be asked to quit your position. That time came and is past. And as we saw recently, a whole list of appointees who have not complied by that, and we haven't heard the president making any pronouncement on that. That's why perhaps other people, like you mentioned, are suspicious as whether or not what is going to introduce today will make a difference. But let us hope. Don't let us give up hope. Let's hope that this will make a difference. And I think what should happen is that civil society groups and interested organizations, once the code is made public, should seize on it and monitor it with eagle eyes, ensuring that if there's any breach by any of the appointees, we'll quickly raise the flag for the president to act. If the president refuses to act, then I'm afraid people will lose confidence in him, with particular reference to corruption, which is one of the worst enemies we have in our development in Ghana. I think I'm hoping the code will reflect that, ethics and all. But again, without any serious commitment to enforcing those ethical codes that you produce, then we are not making any progress. Let's hope that this will be a difference.
Right. Now, Prof, you touched on corruption, which is quite topical and quite the issue for many Ghanaians when it comes to how our public officers conduct themselves whilst in office. There's also the bits about what they say and the kind of things they are allowed to say. But Prof, in all of
with it, if you breach code B, this is what you face. If you can do that, then it will make it easier for all of us to monitor it and to make comments on it. Okay? So I'm hoping that with his risk-setting agenda, he's going to bring some seriousness to this code, but not a code like in the past that didn't have the teeth to bite. So I'm anxious to see what exactly the president is going to share with the public today.
Professor Agyabeng, thank you so much for sharing your insights with us on this particular matter. He is a governance expert. We're looking forward to the president's launch of his code of conduct for government appointees today. And we'll bring you more up to speed on that particular development. After this break, we have more. Stay with us. Welcome back from the break. This is Newsroom on GHOne TV. My name is Emmanuel Agyabeng. We head into the Middle Belt, and the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly is set to begin a citywide decongestion exercise from today, Monday, May 5, 2025. According to the Mayor of Kumasi, Richard Agyabeng, the operation will involve the demolition of unauthorized structures and the seizure of goods and items displayed on pavements. The exercise is to begin around key areas such as Cedi roundabout and the Indecisive area near the Kumasi Zoo. It can be recalled that the Kumasi Mayor, upon assuming office, urged traders operating along pavements within the central business district of Kumasi to vacate or risk facing sanctions.
As for me, I don't like reporting too many things to the police. I don't want a situation whereby we'll put in place a police team, we'll go arrest people, and then they go to the police station, they find their own means, and they are back on the street. That would be a waste of time and resources for me. So I have my own democratic military style, which I'll be implementing. When we say leave this space, and you don't leave this space, and I get there, I am not lucky, and my boys are with me, there and then, we'll beat you. If I'm there, and my 10 boys are in their pickup with me, with their hips, trust me, we'll beat you.
We are now on phone live with the Mayor of Kumasi, Richard Agyabeng. Many thanks for your time, sir, this morning. You had earlier indicated a statement saying democratic military style. Well, you've backtracked with many wondering what would be your style today as you begin this decongestion exercise in Kumasi.
So let me say good afternoon to your listeners. We just deployed men some 30 minutes ago. They are going to the central business district and the job will be done. Rest assured, it will be done.
How many men are you deploying today?
Today we have deployed about 6 military men, 4 national security operatives, 115 urban guards.
Like I mentioned in my earlier statements, you've made a clear move away from democratic military style. For those who are flouting the directive, what is the Metropolitan Assembly's directive in dealing with them?
And this morning, when I moved around the Kumasi Metropolitan, especially within the central business district, a lot of the people have begun to comply. So I'm not sure we're going to have a difficult task at hand. They themselves have begun to comply. So we'll take it phase by phase. So for the first few weeks, we're going to be dealing with those in the median and those selling on the street. And once we are able to have a firm grip on them, we'll then evaluate and try to add on other areas. So we're doing this bit by bit, and I'm sure we'll have success.
I couldn't hear you that on your very last point. If you can come clear again.
I am saying that we'll do it bit by bit.
Okay.
We are definitely going to have success.
You're definitely going to have success. All right. Thank you so much, Richard Agyabeng. He's the Mayor of Kumasi. He's rightly indicated to us that their decongestion exercise beginning today. He believes that there wouldn't be any difficulty as the traders who are plying their hours along pavements in the city have already begun evacuating and leaving the area. And as well, today 6 military men have been deployed to as well look at the exercise beginning today, and he believes that it will be a success and that people will adhere to the directive. But today, as I mentioned earlier, the MPP together with allied parties, the NDP, PNP, the LPG are on a protest, what they have described as Save the Judiciary demo. They are largely against the suspension of the CJ amid processes for her removal or not, and as well for their own description of what they say is an attack on the judiciary and the President, John Dramani Mahama's attempt at a third term. We'll be getting to the street shortly once again to bring you live pictures of what is happening, but on social media happening at this particular demonstration.
Yima, can you hear me?
I can see that you are at the Flagstaff House. Is there anyone yet out to meet the MPP and the team to take the petition to President John Dramani Mahama?
So as you can see in the visual, we are right in front of the Jubilee House where the protesters are gathered waiting for leadership to deliver the petition. let me engage some notable persons here. Former member of Parliament for Lejekuku Okoboy is among the protesters here, waiting patiently for leadership of the MPP to deliver the petition to the presidency. I must say that the protest has been peaceful since it began in the morning. The police presence also can be heavily felt. Let me engage former member of Parliament for Lejekuku Okoboy, how he would describe the process of live on GHOne TV.
Yes, good to see you.
How will you describe the process since morning? You are at the termination point now.
Well, it's been very peaceful. We have been professional. The police too have been professional. I've said it before. On a normal day, it shouldn't be a problem at all for a president to say he has received petitions to remove a chief justice. But the issue with this one is that the city president has stated overtly that he doesn't like the chief justice. He wants to reset, change the judiciary starting from here. And we, as we speak, John Mahama is controlling parliament. He's controlling the executive. That is the safest place for all of us that no politician should control is the judiciary. And as we speak, he's making attempts using Council of State and a committee as one to remove the woman. We have to speak for the woman today to protect you to tomorrow. As we speak, if they take you to Parliament, if GHOne wants you arrested, you'll be arrested because Parliament controls there. The same with Jubilee House. The only place in Ghana where all of us can go and have justice is the judiciary. So we shouldn't sleep in our homes once a president makes a move to remove the judges. And that's why we are here. Judges have been killed before. What did we do? We have put statutes at the Supreme Court. We don't need a statute anymore. We need living beings to speak against this kind of injustice.
Right. Honorable, some people say the MPP is being hypocritical because some time past, the Charlotte was removed through the same process. Right. How will you respond to that?
When Charlotte was being removed, what did John Mahama say?
First question.
John Mahama and the NDC said the removal of Charlotte was wrong. Mahama promised Ghanaians a reset. Is this a reset? To come and do the same things your opponents did. Is that a reset? Come on. People voted for JM because he said he has a 24-hour economy. He is going to reduce electricity in the evening so people can work in the night. Is that what he's doing? He's come to increase electricity and he's going after talk on who is not my auntie. I don't know her. I am speaking for her because tomorrow it can be you. If GHOne, you behave in a way that John Mahama doesn't like and he sends you to the court, how safe are you? We need a judiciary that is neither NDC or NPP. We need a judiciary that is Ghanaian, just as we need a police that is Ghanaian. There are some institutions that should not be politicized. They are the only institutions that are keeping us democratic up to today. So when someone makes the attempt to politicize judiciary, the police and the Ghana Armed Forces, everybody must rise against the person. And that is what we are doing today.
Right, thank you very much. That was former member of Parliament for Lejekuku, Bernard Okoboy, speaking to us about the motivation and the rationale behind this protest. So we are right in front of the Jubilee House, as you can see. Hitherto, we couldn't get the opportunity to even be here, but the Ghana Police Service have been very professional, allowing journalists to even be here to report on the issue. So as you can see on the background, leadership are getting ready, waiting for a representative for the Jubilee House to receive the petition. So Emmanuel, we are currently right in front of the Jubilee House where leadership of the MPP are expected to present a petition from a representative from the presidency. Let me draw closer and find out what is currently happening there, where some leadership are also engaging a representative from the presidency. So we can see that a representative from the presidency is currently with them to receive the petition. And so that's what is currently ongoing. We are told that they want a specific person to receive the petition. So the situation is calm here right in front of the Jubilee House, where leadership of the MPP are expected to deliver a petition to the presidency. So Emmanuel, that's the situation currently here in front of the Jubilee House.
The pictures we're seeing on your screen now, it's at Jubilee House, the official seat of government, where we do understand from Ober's reportage that the leadership of the Safe Judiciary demo do not want just anybody coming out of the Jubilee House to take the petition. They want a specific person to come out and take this particular petition. So until that particular person comes out, whom we do not know yet, that petition will not be presented. But all is calm, and you can see them clad in red and black. I don't know whether it's for the Christmas hats, but you can see red, black. You can see the police service as well. They're trying to maintain law and order. So far, there has not been any difficulty per our reports. We have spoken so far to the minority leader. We've spoken to some leading members of the MPP, past ministers, past members of parliament. And all they are saying is that they do not want the president to usurp the powers of the judiciary. Pictures from the presidency. We do understand that before, as earlier, they had wanted someone, particular person, to come out of the Jubilee House to take their petition. We do understand that they are readying themselves to present the petition now to the presidency in this safe judiciary demonstration, which has been led by the New Patriotic Party and other allied parties.
Briefly, you'll be submitting a petition to a representative of the presidency. Let me find out from you, why did you decide to join this demonstration?
It's a matter that concerns everybody, because when something happens to the independence of the judiciary, it affects everyone. Whether you are an MPP, NDC, CPP, LPG, it will be affected. So that's the reason why we are here.
Right, but one will find out from you, people say that the president is following the constitution. He received a petition, forwarded it to the Council of State, and a prima facie case has been established. What do you have wrong with the procedure? Reason why you are demonstrating?
Because of the premeditated issue. You know, they made it in their campaign platform. They said on a campaign platform that when they get power, they are going to remove the Chief Justice as well as the EC bosses. So we are not surprised what they are trying to do.
Right. So if you can see me, there's a bit of a scuffle here where a leadership have broken through the barricade to make sure that a lot of people join them to be able to submit a petition. So the police is making sure that the situation is brought under control, and that was the scuffle that ensued a while ago, as you can see in your shorts. But calm has restored as we speak. Let me draw closer to the former General Secretary of the MPP, Mr. John Boydu. Good afternoon, Mr. John Boydu.
Yeah, good afternoon.
You are the termination point of this protest. First of all, why did you decide to join this? What's the motivation?
The motivation is simple. If you look at the three arms of government, and sometimes we add the media as the fourth estate of the realm, judiciary is one of all of them that even military rule, they are supreme. They are sacrosanct, they are sacred. So any attempt by anybody, including government, to alter the arrangements by suspending, removing their heads is an attack on all of us. Because that is where we can go when we had difficulties. We've had a government that within just 120 days had appointed 7 additional justices to the Supreme Court.
But we see that they are currently going to present the petition. So let's draw closer where the petition is being presented to the representative of the presidency. So leadership of the MPP, led by minority leader, I beg your pardon, Alexander Apenyu-Making, who doubles as member of parliament for a Futu constituency, leading the charge to present the petition to a representative of the presidency. And so we can see that he has been given that singular opportunity, together with General Secretary of the party, Justin Kodia Frimpong, to enter into the precinct of the Jubilee House to present the petition. So we can see that Justin Frimpong Kodia, Patricia Piaget, and also minority leader Alexander Apenyu-Making. We can also see Janet Nabila joining them to present the petition to a representative of the presidency. And so that's the situation here, Emmanuel. and we are believing that the deputy chief of staff will come for the petition. So as you can see in the shot, minority leader Alexander Agyabeng, together with Madam Patricia PJ, and also the parliamentary candidates for the Odododo constituency are also joining them. We can see Janet Nambila also with the group going to present the petition to a representative of the presidency. And so we see that the police is trying to, but I'm sure the media will be allowed inside to capture the situation. And so luckily we've been allowed inside to capture what is going on. And so my minority leader together with Patricia PJ have been given the opportunity to enter, and they are pleading with the police to ensure that the coalition and its leadership will be given the opportunity to also enter to present the petition. And so we are following through to the front gate of the Jubilee House. As you can see in the shot, I must commend the police for their professionalism, allowing the leadership of the group to present the petition. And so we are heading towards the entrance of the Jubilee House, where the petition is expected to be submitted here. And so we are hoping that it will turn out to be very peaceful, so that their mandates or their intention will be achieved. And so, as you see in the shots, the police in their numbers ensuring that there is law and order here. A little bit of scaffold, making sure that here, trying to ensure that there is peace here. So the petition is leadership are trying to group, ensuring that everything will be done. And so the situation is calm here, and the protesters are grouping, ensuring that leadership will take the front and submit the petition. I must say that the police have been very professional, though there some misunderstanding there with regard to the arrangement of the presentation of the petition. And okay, so we are being asked to position ourselves so that the petition will be submitted. And so we are currently doing that to ensure that there's law and order. Here we are told to stand at the right side of the Jubilee House to ensure that the petition is presented. And so we have been asked to position ourselves well to and so that's the situation here. It's been calm, and so very soon presented as leadership of the group led by Alexander Agyabeng, ready to present petition. And so that's the situation here. So that's the situation here. Try and get closer.
Drop your cable. Drop your cable. Hand over here.
Richard, where is Richard? Richard, come and start it.
So we're waiting for them now.
Stan Dogbe to present the to receive the petition and have an interaction.
On the judiciary, we think that our judiciary should be left independent, and today we are here with our leader and supporting crew of our coalition. We have LPG here, we have NDP, we have LPG, and we have PNP and the New Patriotic Party. We are working in tandem with the masses of Ghana to make sure that our president hears what our petition is, and we hope that we can deliver that petition. We have a lot of people. I won't be able to introduce everybody, but we have our national organizer, we have our deputy speaker, our deputy majority. Speaker, our deputy minority leader, Madam Patricia Piaget. We have the leader of LPG, Kofi Akpalo, is here. We have Madam Janet Nabila is here, of PNP is here. And we have the General Secretary of LPG. The leader of NDP is also here. Mohamed Frimpong is right here. And the cast of our leaders are here to present this petition and through you to reach His Excellency the President. Our minority leader, His Excellency, Honorable Apenyo Markin, will present our petition to you. But if you first of all will introduce yourselves, then we can carry on.
My name is Stan Dogbe. I'm the Deputy Chief of Staff Operations.
Okay. And maybe the other...
Currently, Stan Dogbe is introducing himself.
Well, just gone by, we're seeing an excerpt of what's happening at the forecourt of the Jubilee House. Earlier, you could hear Communications Director for the MPP, that's Richard Agyabeng, indicating that the petition will be presented by the leader of the delegation, the person of Osahin, Alexander Afenyo-Markin, who doubles as MP for Futun as well, the minority leader in Parliament. The presidency's representative at the Safe Judiciary demonstration is Deputy Chief of Staff Stan Dogbe, who is going to receive the petition from the protestants and take it to the presidency for consideration. We would rework and get back to you more updates when that particular petition is being presented. But now it's time to do business news. Well, Ghana's local currency, the Cedi, has appreciated on the interbank markets against major trading currencies, particularly the US dollar at forex bureaus. Market watchers believe that stability is good news for the economy, as it will have some positive impact on the prices of goods and services. The daily exchange rate by the Bank of Ghana, as cited by GHOne Business on Monday, May 5, 2025, indicates a buying rate of 13.89 and a selling rate of 13.90. We apologize for cutting it into the story. Apologize for cutting through this particular story, but we have to head back to the Jubilee House, where the minority leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin is presenting the petition to the presidency and be received by Stan Dogbe. Let's cross over now to the Jubilee House.
Must be pushed back onto the fringes so that the centrists can take the center stage for the good of our country. In today's era of social media, you cannot control what gets onto the streets, and this democracy must be protected and safeguarded. So, my respected brother and friend, this is to you. The language is very respectful and decent and expresses our views because we know we are addressing the president. We hope that it shall receive the needed support for the Chief Justice to go back to her office and do her work. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We just heard from the minority leader, Alexander Fenyoma.
Everybody knows that whatever actions that are being taken now, whatever decisions that are being taken now, as everybody knows, is in line with the provisions of our 1992 Constitution. Indeed, before President Akufo-Addo left the presidency, he himself had started a certain process where issues were brought to him about the Chief Justice, and he referred them to the Council of State. And that is what President Mahama has done. It is not about retaliating on something that was done by the previous administration against President Mahama. We appreciate the fact that just as government, ensured that you went about your demonstration peacefully, there was one also last weekend at preventing you from expressing yourself. Or stop anybody from going that. That should tell you that President Mahama in less than 120 days has demonstrated how he is going to save the democracy of Ghana. He is going to grow the democracy of this country. We will work together. We would work together with you and all the political parties, and your petition will be given the due response. I thank you very much, my brother.